What's going on, guys? Bears with Knives here, and today I'm back again with another knife review, and today we're going to be talking about the We Knife Co. Banter. Now, this is a very interesting knife from We Knives, and I'm going to be talking about it today. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a quick shot of the knife, front and back, so take a look at that so you can see what we're working with here. Put that off to the side for the moment. Here is the packaging it comes in. Pretty standard We box right here. You got the logo on there. You have their various social media platforms as well right there. So, there we go. And then inside the box, you will receive this knife inside this little nice zippered soft pouch here. You have two additional spots to store knives, which is cool. You have the little We warranty card as well as a nice cleaning cloth in there. And then as well, this knife also comes with a few stickers. You get the standard We and Civivi stickers right here, so I'll give you a look at those. And you get the Banter sticker, which is basically just this knife in sticker form. So there we go. And there is some additional writing on the back, so I will let you pause and read that yourselves if you would like. So there we go. Here's the knife. I'm going to give you a couple size comparisons here. Here it is next to the Ontario Rat Model 2. Next up here is the Benchmade Mini Griptilian. And last but not least, this knife's biggest competitor, in my opinion, the Spyderco Chaparral Lightweight. So there's your size comparisons out of the way. Now, I'm going to list off some general stats for you guys. I bought this knife off of Blade HQ, which is where you can purchase this knife as well. Unfortunately, they're all out of stock at the time I'm recording it. But the stats I'm about to list, I pulled off of Blade HQ's website, so I'm just going to list them for you. So first thing, overall length on this knife is 6.5 inches, your blade length is 2.875 inches, your handle length is 3.625 inches, and your weight is 2.61 ounces. So there we go. And the price on this knife, the price of this particular knife is $108, which is a very good price. Not too expensive, all things considered, with the materials you're getting here, and a very competitive price as well, so that's good. And there are two particular versions of this knife. So you have this one here in the Bead Blast Stone Wash finish with all the satin hardware and everything like that. And then you have the all black version here with the blue thumb studs. So there you go. You can see those two right there. I'm going to be focusing on the blue model today. So there we are. Now let's jump into the review. So first thing is you have nice G10 handles. I like that they chose G10. You know, they very easily could have, skipped out on G10 and gone with something a little cheaper at this price. Something like an FRN or some type of reinforced plastic. So I appreciate that they went with G10 instead of something like that. It looks very nice. It's not super textured. It's not super grippy or anything like that, but it works perfectly fine. You have this nice little We pivot in here, which is just a nice little subtle touch. You have a lanyard hole on the back if you want to put a lanyard on this knife. And then one of my favorite things about this knife is you have the deep carry pocket clip with recessed screws, which is awesome. This pocket clip works great. It goes in and out of the pocket just fine. It has enough ramp. And since this is a deep carry clip, once this knife is in your pocket, you're only going to see that pocket clip and you're not going to see any other part of the knife, which is good. And you have the little Banter logo on the pocket clip as well. Normally I don't like billboarding on the pocket clip, but it's so small and so subtle that it doesn't really bother me. So there we go. Now your opening on this knife is thumb studs. You have these very nice dual thumb studs on here on either side. They're very, very comfortable to use. Hopefully you can see the overall design of the thumb studs. They're very rounded and they're pretty big as well, so they're very, very comfortable to use. They're not going to dig into you or anything like that. And this knife is running on ball bearings. I don't know if you'll be able to see them in there, just barely, but it's a thumb stud ball bearing knife, which is great. I just like thumb stud ball bearings over flippers these days. So I appreciate that greatly. Just another nice touch that they decided to use bearings instead of washers. So that's a very nice choice. And the action on this knife is great. You can either just roll this knife out if you would like, or you can flick this knife just as easy. So there we go. Now, the action, I must say, the action on this knife is absolutely superb. The action is so very good on this knife. Since it is running on the bearings, as I said, it is so smooth all the way through. This knife is even drop shut. It's incredibly smooth. The action is great. This knife has a fantastic fidget factor. As soon as I got this knife and pulled it out of the package, I think I just opened and closed it for about 30 minutes. It is super fidgety. That action is just incredible. So there we go. Now that I have the blade open here, you have a spear point blade with a flat grind on there. This is the stonewash and bead blast finish, which looks okay. Doesn't look terrible. I don't mind that. This blade is made of CPM S35 VN steel, which you can see down there, which is a perfect blade steel, perfectly adequate, especially at this price. That is great. And then some of you guys might recognize that little maker's mark up there. This knife is designed by the one and only Ben Peterson of Blade HQ fame. He was the former host of Blade HQ's Knife Banter, their series they did on YouTube. He had a signature "What is up, guys?" Intro, everything like that. And this is his design. And it's very nice, and I always appreciate when there's a member of the community, whether it be, someone who makes videos or whatever. I always appreciate when someone from the community takes that next step into actually designing a knife, and Ben did a hell of a job with this knife. So I love that. I'm super happy for him that he was able to do this and get this knife made. This was his passion project that he spent a lot of time on, and it came true. And I think that's, something all of us knife guys could dream of doing, is, designing a knife and having it be a real thing. So either way, super, super happy for Ben that he was able to kind of live out his dream there. So there we go. You got a little bit of jimping on the spine as well of the blade. Not too much, just enough. And this blade is super, super slicey. The stock is relatively thin. I'll compare it next to the Spyderco Chaparral, which is my, go-to slicey knife. And it's pretty thin. And it's also very thin behind the edge as well. So this thing is a slicing machine. I absolutely love it. I love a nice slicey knife, and this one absolutely is. So slicing capability on this knife is great. Next thing is the ergonomics. The ergonomics are very good. This is a very simplistic handle. There's a slight curvature to it, but other than that, not too much special here. But it works, it's functional, it's very usable, and it's comfortable in my particular hand. No particular hot spots, at least not that I can find, so I like that. Next thing I want to cover is the quality. The quality of this knife is just outstanding. For $100, this is amazing quality. The blade came centered. There's no blade play in any direction. There are no sharp edges on the blade. The G10 is all well chamfered. It is just, the fit and finish on this is superb. It's great. I love it. Next thing I want to talk about is the look. I just like how this knife looks. It's a very simplistic design, and I know there will be some people out there that'll bash it for it, but for me, having a very simplistic design does not bother me at all. And I like it a lot. The lines are very crisp and very clean throughout the knife. It just looks very nice. Once again, especially in this nice blue, just really grabs the eye, and it's very, very good. Next thing is the carry. This knife carries great. It doesn't take up a lot of room in the pocket. It's a fairly small, compact knife. It's lightweight, again, at 2.61 ounces, so under 3 ounces, which is great. You have that deep carry pocket clip again, so you just slide this in your pocket. You're not even going to feel it. You're not going to notice it, and it's going to carry just fine all day. So I love the carry on this knife. It is very, very good. And I think that really wraps up all of the good of this knife. So what do I like? I like the G10. I definitely prefer that they did G10 over an FRN, something like that. You have a deep carry pocket clip with recessed screws. Works great. The knife carries like a dream. It's very lightweight. The action of this knife is fantastic. The thumb studs are very comfortable. It's running on bearings. The blade is very nice, extremely slicey, as well being thin behind the edge and in stock. It is made of CPM S35VN, which is a fantastic steel for the price. The quality is absolutely outstanding, and it just has a amazing fidget factor. So let's talk about the things I don't like about this knife, and there's really only one thing that I don't like about this knife, and it doesn't even pertain to me in particular. The size of this knife. This is a 6.5-inch overall knife, as I said in the beginning of the video, and that's a perfect size for me. I can fit all 4 fingers on this knife, and it works. The ergonomics are comfortable. I have no problem. Just that this knife is going to be kind of small for some people, which is honestly a little sad, because there's going to be a lot of people who are going to want this knife, and if you have bigger hands or anything like that, this knife might be a little too small. But that doesn't affect me. It just is something to mention, and that's really the only gripe I could possibly have with this knife, is that it might be a little small for some people, but who knows, maybe they'll do a large banter somewhere down the line for people that have a little bit bigger hands. But yeah, that's really the only bad thing I can see with this knife, is that it can be a little small for, a particular type of person. So, there we go. You also have a liner lock on here. I forgot to mention that. But there we go. So, what are my final thoughts on this knife? My final thoughts are, this is one hell of a knife. This is an incredible knife. Ben, you did a hell of a job. This is a very, very well-crafted, well-put-together knife. You can tell that this knife was designed, and you can also tell that this knife was designed to be a tool. There's a lot of knives these days that go for lots of glitz and glamour. This is a very clean, simplistic design, and I have no problem with that, and it was designed to be a tool above anything else, and it is perfect for that. It's great to carry, it's lightweight, it's very comfortable in hand, it's got a fantastic performing blade, it's just great, and the materials you're getting, that is one thing I still can't get over. This knife, whether you get the blue or the black, whichever one you get, this knife is $108. That's it. That's amazing. I mean, you're getting CPM S35VN, you're getting a thumb stud ball bearing action, which is just incredible. The action on this is so good. I just love it. And it's only $108. This might be possibly my new favorite EDC knife, and this might be the best EDC knife, at least for my particular preferences and what I want in an EDC knife. This is damn near perfect, if not perfect for me. I absolutely love this knife. This knife is fantastic. It was just so well designed. It's so functional just to be used every day. This knife is just asking to be used. It's asking to be in your pocket. It's great. And like I said, for the price, it's amazing. The quality, the materials you're getting here, how good this design is. There's not a lot of things that can beat this knife at this price. As I said at the beginning of the video, really this knife's only competition in my eyes is the Spyderco Chaparral. And these two, one of these is the greatest of all time. In my eyes. The Spyderco Chaparral has its own set of, little perks here, and then, the Banter here has its own set. But these two are very, very close in terms of greatest of all time. For me, I don't know, man. I love the Spyderco Chaparral, but I'm really, really teetering towards the Banter here. This is one hell of a knife. It's amazing. Once again, Ben, you did a great job. You should be very, very proud and happy of what you created, and I can't recommend this knife anymore, honestly. It's just so good, and I really can't find anything wrong with it, especially for this price. This is one hell of a knife, and I honestly think this should be the knife that every person should carry. It's that good. So either way, enough of me gushing about this knife. It's fantastic. If you can buy it, please do. You won't regret it. It's amazing. I love it. Once again, Thank you, Ben, for designing this knife. It is very, very good. So either way, that has been the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time.